Hey all, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the process of ascension or growth. Well, ascension being a amplified version of growth, yeah, because I feel like when we say to ascend in a human form, it embodies many more things than just growing, because you can learn something and grow. Um, to learn something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ascending. You sort of have to embody what you're learning. You'll sort of have to experience what you're learning at a very high level in order to have your body ascend, and then you certainly your mind ascension or emotional ascension or physical ascension. These things then become hardwired in your life body experience. We can talk about how in the process of ascension that you are embodying future reiterations of yourself that already exist within a field of quantum energy, within a time-space warp continuum where you are in many different places, you are many different versions of yourself. Unlimited reiterations of yourself exist at any given time, making that are relative to all different decisions that you can make along the way. The question is who you want to become. Have you ever found yourself in the process of a, let's say, massage or chiropractic session, and when you're getting worked on, that you think to yourself, ooh, how did you find that spot? The massage therapist gets in there, pushes on a muscle, and you had no idea that it was hurting you. Or a chiropractor gets in there and starts pushing on your bone or your structure or in some tissue or in some fascia, and you're like, oh man, I had no clue that this was actually happening to me. Have you ever been like that? See, there's a step-by-step process to work yourself through the process of ascension. And at a very low level, it requires three subtle gifts, three subtle processes. And I call these the three E's. The first E is to explore. Explore. So the exploration of any given idea or experience is the first process. And this involves thought. So your mind is working while you're experiencing something, where you're exploring something. For example, you're laying there getting worked on. You can use this in any other area of your life where you're choosing to make or go through a process of ascension. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be mental, like learning, wisdom. So, okay, you're getting worked on by somebody, and you have to start with your first E. And the first E is to explore. And you explore with your mind. And the way that you explore with your mind is by asking questions. Now, in the exploration phase, you will get really good at asking very much better questions. And as you become a better explorer, think about like the interested or the curious anthropologist, right? Somebody who wants to dig through all the finer details so they can understand what it is that's actually happening. This exploration, okay, this thought process, you have to become better at. So when you first start, you start asking questions like, oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, why is this happening to me? It's a terrible question. If you're laying on the table and someone's pushing on a tight muscle and working on a joint that's painful, and you keep asking yourself the same question of why is this happening to me? The answer that you're going to get back is not very good. It's actually not a really powerful way to explore anything. But if you're going to explore something with your ultimate curiosity, the curiosity of a child, say, for example, then you're going to ask more than one question. You might start with, why is this happening to me? Then you might ask, what is it? Or, well, why is it? Someone put that there? Did I put that there? How did it get there? What does it make me feel like? How does it feel? Well, will this affect my body? Has this been giving me my pain? Will this ever go away? Is this a permanent injury? Is this something that's only going to be there temporarily? See, the questions that you can ask are constant. Now, here's the key with the questions. You don't actually need the answers in the beginning, because to explore, you're only getting information. You're gathering thoughts. And so you don't actually need answers. Some answers you'll get. Some answers you think you may have. You may not really know if it's the answer or not, but you'll come up with ideas. You'll ask a question, and the question might be, is this causing some of my pain? And the answer might be, well, yeah, it feels like it would be causing what I'm experiencing. Wow. And we might ask other questions like, why is this happening to me? You may have no idea. You may come up with a bunch of illusions, okay, and you may not be right, but you'll still go through the process of exploring. And here's what's really cool. You don't stay in the exploration phase forever. And the reason is that because you know the rules of the universe. You know the rules of universal ascension. So as you want to ascend through a process, you have to move from the first E to the second E. And then the second E, that's going to be different. That's called expansion. So you use thought and you move into what's called process, okay? Thought into process. And then we call exploration into expansion. So while you're exploring it, you're going to then open it. Let's see, open that box. Well, it's a very interesting box. It's square, it's this, it's that, it's got a lid, it's got a hinge. Okay, let's open it. So I'm going to open it and I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to let it all open up and expand in and around me. Experience it. This is the process of experience. Just expand into it. And by doing that, how would you, so people often say, oh, how do you do that? Well, you expand into the thought, the feeling, you start answering the questions. You pick something that seems right. For example, how does it make me feel? Oh, it makes me feel a little bit like funny. It makes me feel joy. I feel love. I feel grief. I feel sadness. I feel irritation. I feel disgust. I feel shame. I feel excitement. Okay, great. Where is that excitement? Where do I feel excited? Oh, I feel excited in my chest. Well, that's really interesting. This is the process of expanding. We take your thought, you take this exploration of thought, and you allow yourself to move through a number of questions about what you're experiencing, a number of thoughts. After a while of thinking and exploring, you will suddenly find your way, just like a curious anthropologist. You'll find a path and you're this, ooh, I want to be on this path. Great, then stay on it and expand it. See everything around you in that path. Once you choose a direction, doesn't mean you can't change your mind and where you're going. Doesn't mean you can't go back to exploring in a different direction. It just means make a choice. Don't get stuck just in exploration alone, because it's only the first step in ascension. The second step in expansion, you need to tease it apart. You need to choose a path and then start answering the questions that you're asking yourself. And as you do this more often, you will learn how to ask better questions. For example, what is this pain causing me? Well, that's a pretty good question. What is this pain causing me? It's okay. And as you get better at answering questions, you might turn around and say, well, what are 3 things that this pain could be causing me? Well, it could be causing the pain that I'm feeling in my knee, or it could be causing the pain that I feel in my back, or it could be causing my digestive problems. Well, you're going to start coming up with answers by improving the quality of your questions. This is expanding your thoughts. This is going through the process. Thought leads to process, finally leads to outcome, the third E. So first we explore, second we expand, and the third E, we express. Here's where it all happens. Here's where it all unfolds. Here's where we become all the bits and pieces that we have learned along the exploration and expansion phase. This is from thought to process to outcome. And so, for example, in a healing situation, if you're getting your body worked on, which, I like to use that as an example, but we can use anything as an example. Anything that's happening in your life, use the same process with. I'll give you another, like a business example in a minute, or a relationship example in a minute. Let's finish with the healing one. So while you're healing, you start the process of thinking, your thoughts, asking questions, and you finally decide, I've got this path. I'm going to go down this route because it seems like it keeps reappearing and it makes sense to me. Okay, great. So expand it. Expand it. Ask better questions. Really look deep at it. See if you can identify a texture, a feel, an energy about it, a sensation, and then move into the expression of it. And to express something, it just means that you have to allow it to do what it is doing in your body. For example, if someone's pushing on you, you might be feeling heaps of grief, and it may be coming and welling up with inside of you, and you keep pushing it away, push the grief away, because you don't want to express it because it hurts. So maybe a tear happens, maybe you cry a little bit, maybe you have a moment of where you cringe and your body just, feels itself at such a deep level. This is expression, and it's different for everyone. And you can be causal to your expression by using various techniques. So the expression is about outcome, which is essentially action. So if you're not sure and you've been exploring and you decide on a path and you expand down the path, while you're in that path and you're learning all about it, sometimes you have to be causal to the outcome. In other words, it's not just going to happen. Sometimes it does happen, but normally you need to somehow cause it. And that first starts with you allowing yourself to experience what is happening. This is all about that. So in your expression, the experience of everything, the outcome of everything, where you start to become what it is that you are explored and expanded, you may start with deep breathing while you're feeling. You may start with working alongside of the person that's working with you, actively taking a role in what it is that is happening in your body. That might mean recruiting certain muscles. That might be relaxing certain muscles. We all do it. When someone gets into one of those tight spots and you're like, whoa, and you start with the process of thinking, and then you're like, oh, what is all this? What is all this? Finally, they're not giving up. You finally do what? You go, okay, just relax it. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. That is the process of expression. And that process will happen differently for everyone. Sometimes it happens and you suddenly embody what it is that you're experiencing within the tissues. Other times it's very subtle and very internal. The 3 E's: explore, expand, express. Said it another way, start with your thoughts, move through to processes, and come to your outcome. And to force your outcome, sometimes it takes action. As Napoleon Hill says, applied faith. You can't just wish and have faith and sit on your couch, right? You actually have to do something about it. So let's go look at a business example, for a second. And you're running some numbers in your business and you're not happy with your sales. That's which part? You're thinking. You're thinking, you're exploring. And you go, okay, I'm going to ask a number of questions. Is it because I don't have enough new customers? Is it because my price points are too high? Is my price points too low? Am I paying too much for my goods and services? What is it that I'm doing? So you'll ask a number of questions. And you go, you know what? Let's start with getting new customers. Am I getting enough new customers? So you expand that. Then one, you choose a path and expand it. This is just the same example that we use for the body work, but now in your business. And you look into it, you run the numbers, you do the reports, and you see how many new students. You compare it to previous years, previous periods, even if you can, comparing it to other businesses that are similar to yours. There's lots of industry averages that are out there that you can simply search via Google, for example. So once you start expanding it, you need to move to the third process, which is the expressing part of it. If you're convinced what you have found through your exploration and the actual unwinding and expanding of your exploration, if you're convinced that this is the right path, well, then you have to express it. You have to move to outcome. It means you have to make a change something, pick something, do something. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a mass marketing email out to all my clients, and I'm going to ask them for one referral. Just one email, one referral. That's a great way to move towards outcome. That's not just having faith. Having faith is, I'm just do the best that I can do and my customers will refer to me. That's faith. Applied faith is turning around to your customers that are in your business and saying to them, hey, Jane, hi, Bob, do you really enjoy using our business? What I would love, would you? I would just so dearly want to help more people. Would you refer somebody you know? And if I can, I'll make it easier for you. Just that simple move will increase your customer base. Now, then you can test it all. You can test your exploration, your expansion, and your expression and see based on results and start the process over again. Thought, process, outcome. Same thing in relationships. You have relationships with somebody, maybe a new person, an old person, whatever it might be. You're exploring. Instead of just being bored in the relationship, explore the relationship. Ask the questions. Do we have enough passion? Am I giving everything I got? Do I want more love? Do I want more someone to touch me more? Do I want to be told how amazing I am? Do I want more gifts in my life? Do I want to do things for more people? What is it that I want to do? What would I like to be done for myself? These are great questions. Okay, great. Well, you know what? I've decided that I want to become more engaging with my time. Fantastic. Amazing. So what does that look like? I want to spend more quality time with the person that I care about. Okay, what does that mean to you? Okay, look at it completely. Well, does it mean that I'm going to spend 5 minutes fully present? Or does that mean I'm going to spend the entire day? Does that mean I have small chunks of where I'm going to be spending time with that person? Or does that mean I just need one day a week where we're going to spend the day together? Maybe it's a quick lunch, maybe it's a quick breakfast, maybe it's always dinner together. Maybe it's 5 minutes before we go to sleep, whatever it might be. But expand that thought, the exploration of it all, and expand it, and then move into the next phase, which is the expression of it, the outcome. Most people will just have faith. I really should be doing this. I should do this. I should do this. I should do this. I should do that. And after a lot of shoulds, you're just shooting all over yourself without taking any kind of action. Have faith it'll work out. Yes, not really, sometimes. But if you really want it to work out, you have to apply your faith. You have to take action. So move into the expression part of the Ascension formula. The 3 E's and the formula for Ascension. Explore what it is that you want. Expand what it is that you desire. And express everything that you want in your life that you've been focusing on. Thought, process, and outcome. See you on the other side of Ascension, folks.